Hi all, welcome back to West Isola. It's been quite a while since the last time I produced a video, so I thought I'd better get one out there and give you an update of what I've been doing to the layout. Some of it you can see, some of it you won't be able to see, but I'll tell you about anyway. And also at the end, I'm going to do a little bit on building the bridge that's going to go across one of the scenic breaks. So without further ado, here we go. Not a lot changed down the eastern end of the layout, but as we go round down by my little yard office here, I've added from MacRail in the US, I've added the end of train devices and the rack to put them on there, so somewhere for the crew to pick them up. And there's me refueler waiting to refuel the switcher if it needs to. A lot more scenery gone in along the back. You can see the trees have been added there on there to sort of break up, and also if you have a look, there's an old corrugated iron fence that's been added. The area that I said was going to look derelict, hopefully it is looking derelict. I've added a lot of grass growing up through the concrete on there. The doors and that are hanging, there's no entry sign, etc. So all looking hopefully a bit run down. This building here that isn't rail served, again some more stuff going there. There's a for lease sign, but hopefully even that's looking a bit decrepit. It's sort of hanging down because this thing's been up for leasing for a long time. The old sign for the old industry that used to be there has sort of fallen down and become derelict on there. More scenery added along the back. I've even managed to get a person in now on there, so it's starting to look a bit better. Along there, more scenery added along there, some trees and bushes, again trying to make it sort of semi-industrial on there. A bit more details on the steel yard. I've added some more bits of slabs and that. They're from Goodwood Scenics in the UK. Fence been added on there. The yard itself, we've got a crane, an overhead crane on there with some coils over the back and that, a lorry being loaded, a truck being loaded on there. Going around a bit more, again still more details to add and people on here, but we are getting there on the yard. Now, one of the major things that I wanted on my layout was some street running, so I've now started to build that. So you can see here I've sort of laid out the roads. There will be a crossing gate there on this side and on this when I finish that. Buildings are just in places, obviously they've got to be painted, a bit more parking spaces and that, and the sidewalk, etc. So that's all being done, and again that's where it's going to continue to the end there. So a lot more work to be done on that, but it is getting there. And then as we come round to the scenic break, what I've started on there, and this is also what I'm going to be showing a bit later on in the video of how I've made it, is the start of a bridge that will run over the top of the line and hopefully hide where it actually disappears through the hole in the wall, a bit like I've done at the other end. This large expanse of white, there's some more buildings in there. You can see where the sidewalk is at the moment, so there'll be more buildings in there. Now, I know a lot of you may look at this and think, my God, there's an awful lot of Wolfers Cornerstone stuff in here. Obviously that is and we know we've seen it on lots of other layouts, but to be honest, when I look at the photos of Lagrange, it looks like that's Lagrange in Kentucky, which is quite famous for its street running. Hopefully I've pronounced it correctly. But if you actually look at photographs and videos of Lagrange, it looks like they've actually gone along and gone through the Wolfers catalogue and picked their buildings that are over the Wolfers out the Wolfers catalogue. So yeah, I know it's you know, you'll have seen them on every other layout, but there's probably a reason for that. There probably is because they are typical American Main Street buildings, I suppose. Well, they are, at least to me, when I look at them. So hopefully that's a bit of an update that we've been doing there on the actual layout. Now we'll look at some other stuff that I have been doing as well. One of the things I've been doing is I've been adding Frog polarity switches to all my switches on the layout. When I installed them, because I was using Pico Unifrog, they'd actually got a frog wire already attached to them, so when I put the switch in on the baseboard, I actually put the hole through, put the frog wire through, and then just left it dangling or taped up out the way for later on. So I've been building these. They're from the Model Electronic Railway Group, Merg. They cost about £12 for one kit. Each kit makes two polarity switches. Technically they're not frog juicers, they don't work in the same way, they do the same job, but what they don't rely on is a short. Technicality is a bit beyond me, but they don't rely on a short, and you can also use them for all sorts of things, both DCC as it says and DC operation, whatever you want to do it. You can use it for switches to do it, whatever. Take about 10-15 minutes to build pair of them. They're on one little board. You can saw the board in half if you want, but there's a lot of switches tend to be in pairs. I've left the boards together. You basically, for DCC operation, you connect one wire to each of the DCC wires and then one wire to the frog, and it automatically switches them backwards and forwards. So that's something I've been doing. Takes a little bit of time, especially at my age, crawling underneath the baseboard to add them, or at least bending underneath the baseboard to add them, but they do work quite well, and yeah, I'm quite happy with those. So that was one little job. Takes a bit of time, but it is worthwhile. Still got a couple to do, but not too many now. I did say I was going to finish this video off with the build of the concrete road overbridge that's going to act as the scenic break. I've decided to leave that for a separate video, which I'm going to do next, so hopefully that'll be up in a few days' time. Hope you've enjoyed the update of my layout, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.